Guys, so the other day I got asked by someone to describe myself in one word, and the word that I went with was survivor. She also then asked me if there's ever been a quote that I've lived my life by, and something that I have said to myself many times is, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. So for today's topic, I would like to discuss how to use what happens to you as motivation. And I want to start by explaining that everyone's going to go through difficulties in life. And human beings are very prone to victimizing themselves. Now, what I mean by that is when something bad happens to us, we tend to feel sorry for ourselves and we dip into a bit of a slump. Now, the last 3 years hasn't been the easiest 3 years in my life, and when all of my drama in my life started, it hit me like a ton of bricks, and I didn't quite know like how to cope with everything. And you know, in the beginning I felt very sorry for myself. It slowed me down tremendously with my goals, and you know, I was very depressed. I suffered from like hectic anxiety from all the stress that I was going through, and time ticked on. I used to work for a guy, and he said the most profound thing to me that has also stuck with me through life. And his name's Bruce, by the way. He said, well, first he asked us a question. He said, what is the most precious commodity on the planet? Obviously, you know, we're thinking like, what currency is the strongest at the moment? And we all got the answer wrong. Because the correct answer is time. Think about it. Time is the one thing on the planet that we don't know how much we have left of it. Therefore, it's priceless. Because you could die tomorrow and have no time left, or you could have like a bunch of years left. It's a nice thought to, you know, bring yourself to. And basically, like, where that comes into it is I felt that I was wasting time feeling sorry for myself, and that's what we do. Now, I'm not saying that you're not allowed to feel your emotion and you're not allowed to experience your trauma and experience the difficulties that you're going into. That's a very important part of healing. But I'm saying, don't let it become your excuse. This is something that I also like to tell myself whenever I feel like I'm hitting a wall and things are getting a little bit too overwhelming. I start listing things that's going on in the world. So I say to myself, Cherise, someone just lost their mom. There's a child out there that doesn't have dinner tonight. There's a child out there that doesn't have a roof over their head. There's a mother that can't afford to pay her child's school fees. There's a woman that was just raped. There's a family that was just murdered. And it snaps me back to reality because I realize that things could be so much worse. I could be in a much worse off position. And if someone out there in this world is surviving something that's a lot worse than what I'm going through, I can make it through this. I owe it to that person going through that trauma to make it through what I'm going through now. And you know, I woke up one day, like in these last like 3 years, and I like woke up. I said, you know what, Cherise, like, you've worked so hard to get where you are now, and now you're like slowing down and you're not achieving the things that you want to achieve. You could be doing so much better because you are strong enough to handle it. And so I changed my perspective. I decided to, instead of victimize myself, to call myself a survivor. Saying, hey, if I can do that, I can definitely do that. If I can make it through that, I can definitely make it through that. And then it was like everything that was difficult wasn't so difficult anymore. It was becoming a lot easier. And I decided to use everything as a lesson. And you know what? I really believe that we need to go through crap in life to become the people that we're meant to become. So if I didn't go through like everything that I've been through, and I'm saying that a lot, I wouldn't be the person that I am today. You know, I choose to look at everything that was a negative in my life as something that molded me into a more mature individual. It made me wiser. And I can honestly tell you that that time in my life is where I matured the most. I grew up. Before that, I was a bit of a lost soul, and I didn't really know what I wanted out in life. And parents were looking after me, so that was nice. And you know, you're partying a lot, and yeah, sure, like my fitness journey had started, but like I hadn't really found like any form of independence. And I really feel that with all the things that broke me down, those were the things that ended up building me up. So if you're going through something that's really, really difficult and it's holding you back from your goals, maybe you need to try looking at it from a different perspective. You know, I really felt that helped me get through things. And like I said, we tend to victimize ourselves in life. And you know what? Excuses aren't going to get you to your goals. That's the bottom line. So, just today's thoughts.